Hey guys, what's going on? I'm that guy Dan96 and welcome back to Prepared. This afternoon we find ourselves in Seattle, Washington, preparing for a quick flight down to Portland, Oregon as Alaska 976 and the Boeing 737-900. Let's hop in the flight deck and let's get this flight started. Welcome to the flight deck of November 248 Alpha Kilo. If we jump into the FMS here, you can see we are Seattle, Portland, Alaska 976 off runway 34 right. On the Oswald 1 departure to Bowazo. I think that's how you say it, I don't know. From there it's the Crater 2, 24 right. This time I'm not going to take the ILS. There is a looks at least a little more fun, RNP Yankee 28 right. We're going to take that, so it's not just a straight ILS again. 12,000 pounds of fuel, 0 fuel weight, 125.3, 37.3, 22.6 on the CG, 5 in reserves, cost index 44, cruising at 17,000. Doing a takeoff 2, climb 1, select a temperature of 30 degrees Celsius with an outside air temperature of 15. Flap 5 takeoff 22.6 gives us 522 on the trim, 139, 140, 148. I started the APU. The APU has been running for more than a minute. We're going to turn the APU bleed on. We have the cargo doors shut. We can actually set up this. This is one of the things I forgot to do. Portland, Oregon. I don't know what their airport elevation is. I'm going to pull it up here on the iPad right quick. I think it's like 150 feet or something like that, if I remember correctly. I was here not too long ago. Oh, no, I'm not even close. It's 50. Well, I was kind of right. 50, 150. I don't know. Just one digit. I guess we're still waiting and, oh yeah, they're still technically boarding. That's a fantastic walk animation right there. So we're going to finish up boarding here and then we're going to get on our way as soon as all these terrible walking animation people will get on our airplane. Parking brakes are released. You're clear to push. Flight controls are checked. Overhead is set up. Those taxi lights on. Brakes released. Let's head on over to runway 34 right. We are just a few planes away from taking off. There's an Iceland Air 757 lining up, an Alaska A320 in front of us. Don't think there's nobody on final, which is good, so we should be out of here in just a few minutes. We have been cleared to line up and wait on runway 34 right. You can see that Alaska Airbus is now out of the way. Got a Southwest coming out of the ramp. All sorts of guys. I see some Air France, Hawaiian, very nice. Again, AI traffic is from Alpha India Design Group. I'll have a link down in the description. Check it out. It is by far the best traffic program I have ever used, and it's 100% free. So fantastic. That A320 is out of the way. That's coming up. Start the clock. Set takeoff thrust. Thrust is set. $80 knots.
V1.
Rotate. V2.
Positive brake gear up. That trim of 5.22, that was really, did not feel right for my airplane at all. I had to, as soon as I took off, lots of nose down trim, so I don't know what that was. We're just starting to pitch down now. There are no altitude or speed restrictions other than an at or above altitude, and we're obviously going to be above that, so that's not going to be much of an issue. Slowly speeding up. I really don't want to get to like 250 knots for the turn quite yet. If I can do like 230, that's definitely what I want. Flap 1. No reason to speed up to 250 knots just to essentially make a 360. That doesn't make any sense. Flaps up. Got that nice little turn coming in. Autopilot's going to go on a little bit late. I'm probably going to end up hand flying this entire turn. Set 230 on the speed there. That way the flight director should give me a little bit better guidance. Not trying to do 250 knots. I don't want to bore you guys with more hand flying. Again, I thought this turn was going to be a little bit like sharper. I guess it really wasn't. We're going to take that speed intervene out and Command A at some point here once I can get it lined up. Command A, we are on our way to Portland. After a whopping 27 minutes of flying, we are now passing through 7,400 feet on the descent into Portland. Right now we're taking it the RNAV RNP Yankee, runway 28 right. Current weather right now in Portland, winds are 350 at 4 knots, 10 statute miles, few clouds 4,000, few clouds 11,000, broken clouds 25,000, temperature 16, dew point 6, altimeter 3034. Instead of taking just a straight up ILS to 28 right, which is done pretty much all the time, I figure I'll do something a little bit different and fly this RNAV approach. You can see here, the final turn on this RNAV approach rolls you out on about a 2-mile final for 28 right. I'm assuming they would end up using this approach more or less at night. A good chunk of the approach below 1,500 feet or so is over the river. Portland's going to be off hour about 2 o'clock. You can see it loading in right there. This flight is actually also flown at night. For some reason, I feel like night in Prepared is just way too dark, and depending on what kind of monitor you have, or if you're watching it on a phone or a TV, I just don't feel like the video itself comes out the way I want it to. So that's why we're flying this during the day. We're going down to 3,000 now. The lowest altitude for this right now is, we're going to put in 1,500 feet. Throughout the approach, let's see, it's got us slowing down here. We're going to be doing about 160 knots on those turns. I'm probably going to end up using speed intervene a little bit to do more of what I want. We're going to be doing a flap 30 landing. VREF is 146. We're going to use auto brakes. Well, I have them at 3 right now. We could probably end up using 2, but I'll use 3 because I want to get off the runway and taxi over to our gate. We're going to Charlie 2, which is over by the southwest gates. Just took the auto throttle out. Flaps are going to 5. I'm going to set my final approach speed of 151. Just so I can use it as reference. We're going to be rolling out here on the runway pretty soon. Want to make sure we start getting this speed back. It is a constant, we're constantly descending here, so there's really not going to be any point to level off and bleed off speed. So energy management is going to be extremely important throughout this entire approach. I've got flaps 5 out. We're about 7 miles from touchdown. Putting zeros on the altitude so we can continue descending. At 5 miles, we'll go gear down and flaps 15. Gear down. Flaps 15. Autopilot off. We'll go flap to 25. Flap 30. We're now going visual. I can see the pappies on the right there. We've got 2 red, 2 white. Trying to maintain 150 knots throughout the descent.
1,000.
It's 1,000 feet, that's checked. And there's traffic turning onto the runway. Fantastic. Rolling out on 28 right. We're just going to straight up ignore the airplane that's turning onto the runway now. We should fly over him.
500.
We'll be okay. There's 500 feet.
Approaching minimums. Minimum.
Runway in sight.
$100, 50, 30, 20, 10.
60 knots will make the left turn off here on Alpha 6. Oh, good. Oh, there goes the 757. I think we somehow found a way to land and take off without actually hitting each other. That was a fantastic 36-minute flight. I love me some nice short hops in the 737. We'll make the left turn here onto Tango. It's Tango here. And our parking is right over here. We'll probably be following that Alaska 73 off our left. It's so fantastic to taxi around and see all these nice Alaska airplanes with scimitars, and just knowing PMDG just can't do anything. Apparently they draw the line at scimitars. That's where just PMDG says, yep, this is too much. Can't do it. No, what's really going to happen is they can do scimitars now if they wanted to, but they can't charge you for it, so to them that's pretty pointless. So what's going to happen is this NG3 is going to come out, which, yeah, the 737 is in need of work. She could use some TLC. Unfortunately, they're going to be like, hey, look, you can have scimitars, but you have to give us $78. So, no Southwest here. Last time I flew Southwest here, we were at these gates, and there's nobody now. That Iceland Air left. He was over there. Watch this Alaska plane in front of us literally take Charlie 2. Yep, either this guy in front of me or the Alaska guy behind me is taking Charlie 2, and this guy's going to take Charlie 4, or one of the twos. Both of these planes are taking 2 and 4, so I'm going to go to 6. Is right here. Of course, GSX in all of its glory spawns staircases and puts our marshaller guy on top of stairs. Perfect. Brakes are set. Of course, I forgot to start the APU, so we are going to turn off our number 2. Number 2 is off. The APU should be coming online here in just about 10 seconds or so. I want to make sure number 2 gets off first, just in case a ramp agent not paying attention decides to try and open up the cargo bins. Perfect. APU is on, number 1 is off. I have to wait a minute until I can actually put on the APU bleed air to get that stank air out of the APU manifold, so we're going to turn the anti-collision light off, wait on the air, brakes are set, and actually turn off our transponder. Alright guys, that's going to do it for Alaska 976 with service to Portland from Seattle. I appreciate you taking time out of your day to watch one of my videos. If you liked what you see, go ahead and subscribe, drop a like, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care.